Maybe not a good time for ribs. But you'll be able to buy all the munchies that you want after this, because tonight's pot is $2,500. And in case you're just tuning in, I'll re-explain the rules. You'll have 10 seconds to pick your answer and choose wisely, because once you tap, there's no going back. If you miss one, you will no longer be eligible for the cash prize. But stay in the game, because you can keep playing along for fun. Okay, you ready to do this? I am. Here we go. Question 1. Gloves are typically worn on what part of the body? The head, the hands, the knees. Gloves are typically worn on what part of the body? The head, the hands, the knees. I can't give you the answer, but I can tell you this much. You always know a character in a movie is a little bit of a baddie because they always have gloves with the holes on the tips. They're usually either a biker or a bully, but either way, you don't want to mess with them. And how do you know this? Holes in their clothes. Hey, I'm so tough, I don't even need clothes that keep me warm. Wow, that is cool. Can I give you a hand with this answer? It's hands. I showed you. Grab on tight, because we're going to question 2. Which is not a face card in a standard deck of cards? King, Jack, Bishop. Which is not a face card in a standard deck of cards? King, Jack, Bishop. Look, I know you don't want to, but sometimes you got to face the cards you're dealt. Even if it's all just a bunch of 2s and 4s. Lame. The face cards are the ones with the real value in most card games, but the most valuable face in poker? Lady Gaga told us it's the poker face, poker face. No, don't poker face. She just finished her makeup. You gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them, but you always gotta know how to stay cool, calm, and collected. I only play poker to practice my facial expressions. Bishop is a piece in chess, but I've never seen one in a card game. Question 3. In The Godfather, the head of what animal is famously found in a bed? Pig, horse, sheep. Which of these was found in a bed? Pig, horse, sheep. They were trying to warn this guy he would be sleeping with the fishes, so they literally put him to bed with a farm animal? Okay, so maybe the messaging is a little wonky, but I don't really want to say that to the Italian mob's PR team, you know? I know when to stay in my lane when it comes to organized crime rings. Regardless, I think this movie had the right impact, which was scaring the bejesus out of somebody. Have you ever woken up next to somebody you don't know? That's got to be scary enough. So imagine waking up next to dead livestock. All I'm going to say is that is not a stable way to start your morning. But if you wake up next to a horse's head like this guy did, you might have some explaining to do. Question 4. All of the following events are typically part of a triathlon except swimming, biking, hurdles. All of the following events are typically part of a triathlon except swimming, biking, hurdles. So a triathlon is a race that has 3 distinct parts, and I'm just like, why? I think one race would tell us who the fastest person is, but if you really want to prove how speedy you are, you need 2 more races to do that? Sounds like overcompensation to me. Okay, we get it. You're good at everything. You need to show off. Your parents didn't give you enough attention. Ah, yes, it all makes sense. Being the fastest still won't earn your father's approval, but winning some money in display trivia might help. This 3-legged race consists of swimming, biking, and plain old running. And now we're off to question 5. When the show premiered in 2009, who was not a full-time cast member on Shark Tank? Mark Cuban, Barbara Corcoran, Damon John. When it premiered in 2009, who was not a full-time cast member on Shark Tank? Mark Cuban, Barbara Corcoran, Damon John. Who needs to go get a graduate business degree when you can just watch a marathon of this show? I mean, save that money on Harvard and spend it on your cable bill, right? TV is really such a great way to learn anything, by the way. I've learned most of what I know from TV. Did you know that flipping a house does not mean turning it on its side? HGTV taught me that. Also, house hunting, not as violent as it may sound. Yeah, I've learned pretty much everything that I know from TV, but I still haven't found out how to get to Sesame Street. So if you do know that, drop that in the chat later. I know it's not up now. Mark Cuban is probably one of the most iconic sharks, but he didn't come on the show until a few seasons in. Hope you didn't take that bait. Q6. Of the following U.S. presidents, which one served their time in office first? JFK, LBJ, FDR. Of these, who served their time in office first? JFK, LBJ, FDR. I love a good name abbreviation. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Do you know that song is just an abbreviation for the alphabet? It's also the only way that I can remember the alphabet. I cannot tell you what comes before or after R without singing the entire song. I mean, if R wanted to be more memorable, it should have shown up ready and on time to make it to the front of the song. Early is on time is late, and late is, please don't be late. Get your answers in. Come on, hurry up! Of these three, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the first to do time in the Oval Office and the only guy to get elected 4 times. Yeah, they made an amendment because of him. Question 7. The car from Back to the Future was designed by a person of what nationality? Irish, American, Italian. The car from Back to the Future was designed by a person of what nationality? Irish, American, Italian. The acting performances in this movie are fine and good, but this car? I mean, the breakout star of the movie, for sure. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd are good, but I cannot take my eyes off of the car. You know, it did all its own stunts. Yeah, consummate professional. And it paved the way for a lot more car acting. Cacting, as it's known in the biz. After this, we got Transformers, Fast and Furious, even Disney's cars. Yep, all thanks to the DeLorean, which although was made for and distributed by an American company, was designed by Italian Giorgetto Giugiaro. Ready to move on? I've got the flux capacitor set. Time for question 8. All of the following EU nations have retained their own currency except Czech Republic, Austria, Sweden. All of the following EU nations have retained their own currency except Czech Republic, Austria, Sweden. In the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of the countries already in the European Union decided to all adopt the common currency, the euro. This means they had to switch over all their old money to new euro money. And I'm just like, props to these people, right? I can barely keep track of my budget spreadsheet in Excel. Yes, I've budgeted in $300 a week for coffee, but also as a person supposed to spend money on. The benefit of all this, of course, is you can use the euro, and almost countries have a place where I can buy all my coffee instead of making it. In months. It's not true. The Czech Republic still uses the koruna, and tonight we play for dollars. The 2019 Tony for Best Musical centers on the story of what characters? American Founding Fathers, Orpheus and Eurydice, a Middle Eastern band. Which are we looking for here? American Founding Fathers, Orpheus and Eurydice. All of these are actual main characters in actual Best Musical winners of the last few years. Proof that you can write a show about anything. You have an idea you think is too weird? I promise it's probably not. Someone else already probably thinks it's a good idea. First time I heard about Hamilton, I thought, excuse me? No one needs that. And do you know what? I needed that. I still need it. It is the best music to run to. That show won the tone that we're asking for in this question is Hadestown, which is the Greek good as new. You ready for the final question? Question 10. On the spinner for the classic version of the game referred to as King's Footsie. 12, 16, 24. They were worried American parents wouldn't want their kids playing because there would be... This game was a hit, and the rest is history. The game, today we call it Twister, not to be confused with the movie about a mega tornado. And it's best played in socks to prevent slipping and sliding. The mat on which you play has 6 rows of 4 colors, totaling 24. But the spinner used to determine the right hand, red, right? Right hand, red. Left foot, blue. Well, you will find 16 different spots on that spinner to create all kinds of twisted combinations. That's a game of physical agility. But how did you do with your mental agility today? We have some winners! We do! How did you do, Display Bee? Shout it out in the chat. Today you came, you played, you slayed,